Day 277. Luke 13. 1 At that time some people came and told him about those Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. 2 And Yeshua answered and said to them, Do you think that these Galileans were sinners more so than all Galileans, because this happened to them? 3 No, but I say to you, all of you also shall likewise be destroyed unless you repent. 4 Or those 18 upon whom the tower of Shiloh fell and killed them, do you think that they were sinners more so than all the children of men who dwell in Jerusalem? 5 No, but I say to you, unless you repent, all of you shall be destroyed like they were. 6 And he told this parable. A man had a fig tree that was planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it, and he found none. 7 And he said to the cultivator, Behold, 3 years I have come seeking fruit in this fig tree, and I find none, cut it down, why is it taking up space? 8 The cultivator said to him, My Elo-heem, leave it also this year, well I shall cultivate it, and I shall manure it. 9 And perhaps it will have borne fruit, otherwise next year you should cut it down. 10 But when Yeshua taught on the Sabbath in one of the synagogues, 11 A woman was there who had a spirit of affliction 18 years, and she was bent over, and she had not been able to be straightened at all. 12 But Yeshua saw her and he called her and said to her, Woman, you are released from your affliction. 13 And he laid his hand upon her and at once she was straightened, and she glorified Yehovah. 14 But the leader of the synagogue, being angered, answered, because Yeshua had healed on the Sabbath, and he said to the gathering, There are 6 days in which it is legal to work, you may come in them and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day. 15 But Yeshua answered and he said to him, Hypocrite. Does not each one of you on the Sabbath release his ox or his donkey from the stall and go to water it? 16 But this is a daughter of Abraham, and the devil has bound her, behold, for 18 years. Is it illegal that she be released from this bondage on the Sabbath day? 17 And when he had said these things, those who had opposed him were all ashamed, and all the people were rejoicing at all the miracles that were wrought by his hand. 18 But Yeshua said, What is the kingdom of Yehovah like, and to what shall I compare it? 19 It is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and cast into his garden, and it grew and became a great tree, and a bird of the sky nested in its branches. 20 Again Yeshua said, To what shall I compare the kingdom of Yehovah? 21 It is like yeast which a woman took and hid in 3 gallon measures of flour, until all of it was fermented. 22 And he traveled in villages and cities as he taught, and he went on to Jerusalem. 23 But a man asked him if there are few who have life. 24 But Yeshua said to them, Strive hard to enter the narrow gate, for I say to you, many shall seek to enter, and they shall not be able. 25 Then Elo-heem of the house will rise and shall bolt the gate, and you will be standing outside knocking at the gate, and you will begin to say, Our Elo-heem, open to us. And he shall answer and he shall say, I say to you, that I do not know you. From where are you? 26 And you shall begin to say, We ate and we drank before you and you taught in our streets. 27 And he shall say to you, I do not know you, and from where you are, depart from me, workers of lies. 28 There will be weeping and gnashing teeth when you will behold Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Yehovah, but you shall be cast out. 29 And they shall come from the east and from the west and from the south and from the north, and they shall recline in the kingdom of Yehovah. 30 And behold, there are the last who shall be the first, and there are the first who shall be the last. 31 That day, some of the Pharisees approached, and they were saying to him, Depart from here, because Herod wants to kill you. 32 But Yeshua said to them, Go tell this fox, Behold, I cast out demons and do cures today and tomorrow, and on the 3rd day I shall be perfected. 33 However, it is right for me that today and tomorrow I should work and I should go the following day, because it is not possible that a prophet shall perish outside of Jerusalem. 34 Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you have murdered the prophets, and you have stoned those who were sent to her. How many times I have desired to gather your children as a hen that gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. 35 Behold, your house is left to you desolate, for I say to you, you shall not see me until you will say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of Elohim Yehovah. 1 Peter 1. 1. Petros, an apostle of Yeshua the Messiah, to the chosen ones and pilgrims who are scattered in Pontus and in Galatia, in Cappadocia, in Asia and in Bithynia. 2. Those who have been chosen in the prior knowledge of Yehovah the Father by sanctification of the Spirit, for obedience and for the sprinkling of the blood of Yeshua the Messiah. Grace and peace be multiplied to you. 3. Blessed is Yehovah the Father of our Elohim Yeshua the Messiah, he who in his great pity has begotten us again by the resurrection of Yeshua the Messiah to the help of life. 4. And to an inheritance which is indestructible, undefiled and unfading, prepared for you in heaven. 5. While you are kept by the power of Yehovah, and by the faith, for the life which is ready to be revealed in the last time. 6. In which life you shall rejoice for eternity, although at this time you are a bit weary with various temptations which suddenly come upon you. 7. so that the proof of your faith may appear, which is worth more than refined gold tried in the fire, for glory and honor and praise at the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah. 8. Him whom you have not seen, and yet you love, and in his faith you greatly rejoice with glorious joy which cannot be spoken. 9. That you may receive the reward of your faith, the life of your souls. 10. About which life the prophets have investigated, when they prophesied about the grace that was going to be given to you. 11. And they searched for what time the Spirit of the Messiah who dwelt in them revealed, and testified that the sufferings of the Messiah were coming, and his glory which was after that. 12. And it was revealed to all those who were searching, because they were not inquiring for themselves, but for us, they were prophesying of those things belonging to us, which now are revealed to you by those things in which we have evangelized you, by the Spirit of holiness, who is sent from heaven, into which things the angels have also desired to gaze. 13. Because of this, gird up the loins of your mind, be perfectly attentive, and hope for the joy which is coming to you in the revelation of our Elo-heem Yeshua the Messiah. 14. As obedient children, and do not be partaking again of your former lusts, which you were lusting without knowledge. 15. But be holy ones in your entire way of life, as he who has called you is holy. 16. Because it is written, be holy, just as I also am holy. 17. And if you call upon the Father, he who has no respect of persons, and judges every person according to his works, live your life in reverence in this time of your pilgrimage. 18. As you know that you were redeemed from your worthless works which you received from your fathers, not with silver which wears out, neither with gold. 19. But with the precious blood of the Lamb, who has no blemish or defilement in him, who is the Messiah. 20. He was appointed beforehand to this before the foundation of the world, and was manifested at the end of times for you. 21. You, who by him have believed in YEHOVAH, who raised him from among the dead, and has given him the glory, that your faith and hope would be upon YEHOVAH. 22. So that your souls would be sanctified in obedience to the truth, and that they be filled with love without partiality, that you would be loving one another from a pure and perfect heart. 23. As persons who have been born again, not from fallible seed, but that which is infallible, by the living word of YEHOVAH which stands for eternity. 24. Because all flesh is grass, and all its beauty is the blossom of the field, the grass withers and the blossom fades. 25. And the word of our YEHOVAH stands for eternities. And this is that word by which you have been evangelized. 1 Peter 2. 1. Therefore, put away from you all wickedness, all treachery, partiality, envy and slander. 2. And be as nursing infants, and yearn for the word as for pure and spiritual milk, by which you shall grow strong for life. 3. If you have tasted and you have seen that Elohim Yehovah is good. 4. He to whom you draw near, the living stone, whom the children of men have rejected, and is chosen and precious to Yehovah. 5. And you also, as living stones, be built up and become spiritual temples and holy priests to offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable before Yehovah by Yeshua the Messiah. 6. For it is said in the scriptures, behold, I lay down in Zion an approved and precious stone at the head of the corner, and whoever believes in him will not be ashamed. 7. This honor is given therefore to you, those who believe, but to those who are disobedient. 8. He is a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, and they stumble on it, in that they do not obey the word, for they are appointed to this. 9. But you are a chosen race who serve as priests for the kingdom, a holy people, a redeemed assembly. You should proclaim the praises of him who called you from darkness into his excellent light. 10. You are those who at the first were not considered a people, but now are the people of Yehovah, neither were mercies upon you, but now mercies are poured out upon you. 11. Beloved, I beg of you, as wayfarers and as foreigners, depart from all these desires of the body that make war against the soul. 12. And let your way of life be beautiful before all children of men, those who speak wicked words of you, that they may see your beautiful works, and praise Yehovah in the day of examination. 13. Submit to all the sons of men for the sake of Yehovah, to kings, because of their authority. 14. And judges, because they are sent by him for the punishment of wrongdoers, and for the praise of the workers of good. 15. For it is the will of Yehovah in this way that by your excellent works, you may shut the mouths of fools, those who do not know Yehovah. 16. As free children, and not as persons who make their liberty a cloak for their evil, but as servants of Yehovah. 17. Honor every person, love your brethren, worship Yehovah and honor kings. 18. To those who are servants among you, submit to your masters in reverence, not only to the good and to the meek, but also to the severe and to the perverse. 19. For such servants have grace before Yehovah who, for the sake of a good conscience, endure distresses which come upon them by the evil one. 20. But what honor is it to those who endure suffering because of their foolishness? But when you do what is good and they afflict you and you endure, then it magnifies your honor with Yehovah. 21. For you are called to this, for even the Messiah died for our sake and left us this example, that you would walk in his steps. 22. He who did no sin, neither was deceit found in his mouth. 23. He who was insulted and did not insult, and he suffered and did not threaten, but he handed his judgment over to the judge of righteousness. 24. And he took all of our sins and lifted them in his body to the cross, for as we are dead to sin, we shall live in his righteousness, for by his scars you have been healed. 25. For you had gone astray like sheep, and you have returned now to the shepherd and the caregiver of your souls. Numbers 18. 1. And Elohim spoke to Aaron, saying, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house shall bear the sins of the holy things, and thou and thy sons shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. 2. And take to thyself thy brethren the tribe of Levi, the family of thy father, and let them be joined to thee, and let them minister to thee, and thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. 3. And they shall keep thy charges, and the charges of the tabernacle, only they shall not approach the holy vessels and the altar, so both they and you shall not die. 4. And they shall be joined to thee, and shall keep the charges of the tabernacle of witness, in all the services of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not approach to thee. 5. And ye shall keep the charges of the holy things, and the charges of the altar, and so there shall not be anger among the children of Israel. 6. And I have taken your brethren the Levites out of the midst of the children of Israel, a present given to Elohim, to minister in the services of the tabernacle of witness. 7. And thou and thy sons after thee shall keep up your priestly ministration, according to the whole manner of the altar, and that which is within the veil, and ye shall minister in the services as the office of your priesthood, and the stranger that comes near shall die. 8. And Elohim said to Aaron, And, behold, I have given you the charge of the first fruits of all things consecrated to me by the children of Israel, and I have given them to thee as an honor, and to thy sons after thee for a perpetual ordinance. 9. And let this be to you from all the holy things that are consecrated to me, even the burnt offerings, from all their gifts, and from all their sacrifices, and from every trespass offering of theirs, and from all their sin offerings, whatever things they give to me of all their holy things, they shall be thine and thy sons. 10. In the most holy place shall ye eat them, every male shall eat them, thou and thy sons. They shall be holy to thee. 11. And this shall be to you of the first fruits of their gifts, of all the wave offerings of the children of Israel, to thee have I given them, and to thy sons and thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance, every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 12. Every first offering of oil, and every first offering of wine, their first fruits of corn, whatsoever they may give to Elohim, to thee have I given them. 13. All the first fruits that are in their land, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, shall be thine. Every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 14. Every devoted thing among the children of Israel shall be thine. 15. And everything that opens the womb of all flesh, whatsoever they bring to Elohim, whether man or beast, shall be thine. Only the firstborn of men shall be surely redeemed, and thou shalt redeem the firstborn of unclean cattle. 16. And the redemption of them shall be from a month old, their valuation of 5 shekels, it is 20 oboli, according to the holy shekel. 17. But thou shalt not redeem the firstborn of calves and the firstborn of sheep and the firstborn of goats, they are holy. And thou shalt pour their blood upon the altar, and thou shalt offer the fat as a burnt offering for a smell of sweet savor to Elohim. 18. And the flesh shall be thine, as also the breast of the wave offering, and as the right shoulder, it shall be thine. 19. Every special offering of the holy things, whatsoever the children of Israel shall specially offer to Elohim, I have given to thee and to thy sons and to thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance. It is a covenant of salt forever before Elohim, for thee and thy seed after thee. 20. And Elohim said to Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any portion among them, for I am thy portion and thine inheritance in the midst of the children of Israel. 21. And, behold, I have given to the sons of Levi every tithe in Israel for an inheritance for their services, whereinsoever they perform ministry in the tabernacle of witness. 22. And the children of Israel shall no more draw nigh to the tabernacle of witness to incur fatal guilt. 23. And the Levite himself shall perform the service of the tabernacle of witness, and they shall bear their iniquities, it is a perpetual statute throughout their generations, and in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall not receive an inheritance. 24. Because I have given as a distinct portion to the Levites for an inheritance the tithes of the children of Israel, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, therefore I said to them, in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. 25. And Elohim spoke to Moses, saying. 26. Thou shalt also speak to the Levites, and shalt say to them, If ye take the tithe from the children of Israel, which I have given you from them for an inheritance, then shall ye separate from it a heave offering to Elohim, a tenth of the tenth. 27. And your heave offerings shall be reckoned to you as corn from the floor, and an offering from the winepress. 28. So shall ye also separate them from all the offerings of Elohim out of all your tithes, whatsoever ye shall receive from the children of Israel, and ye shall give of them an offering to Elohim to Aaron the priest. 29. Of all your gifts ye shall offer an offering to Elohim, and of every first fruit the consecrated part from it. 30. And thou shalt say to them, When ye shall offer the first fruits from it, then shall it be reckoned to the Levites as produce from the threshing floor, and as produce from the winepress. 31. And ye shall eat it in any place, ye and your families, for this is your reward for your services in the tabernacle of witness. 32. And ye shall not bear sin by reason of it, for ye shall have offered an offering of first fruits from it, and ye shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, that ye die not. Lamentations 4. 1. Aleph. How will the gold be tarnished and the fine silver changed? The sacred stones have been poured forth at the top of all the streets. 2. Beth. The precious sons of Zion, who were equaled in value with gold, how are they counted as earthen vessels, the works of the hands of the potter? 3. Gimel. Nay, serpents have drawn out the breasts, they give suck to their young, the daughters of my people are incurably cruel, as an ostrich in a desert. 4. Daleth. The tongue of the sucking child cleaves to the roof of its mouth for thirst. The little children ask for bread and there is none to break it to them. 5. He. They that feed on dainties are desolate in the streets. They that used to be nursed in scarlet have clothed themselves with dung. 6. Vow. And the iniquity of the daughter of my people has been increased beyond the iniquities of Sodom, the city that was overthrown very suddenly, and none labored against her with their hands. 7. Zion. Her Nazarites were made purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, they were purified as with fire, their polishing was superior to sapphire stone. 8. Heth. Their countenances become blacker than smoke, they are not known in the streets. Their skin has cleaved to their bones, they are withered, they are become as a stick. 9. Teth. The slain with the sword were better than they that were slain with hunger. They have departed, pierced through from want of the fruits of the field. 10. Jod. The hands of tender-hearted women have sought in their own children. They became meat for them in the destruction of the daughter of my people. 11. Chaff. Elohim has accomplished his wrath, he has poured out fierce anger, and has kindled a fire in Sion, and it has devoured her foundations. 12. Lamed. The kings of the earth, even all that dwell in the world, believed not that an enemy and oppressor would enter through the gates of Jerusalem. 13. Mem. For the sins of her prophets and iniquities of her priests, who shed righteous blood in the midst of her. 14. None. Her watchmen staggered in the streets, they were defiled with blood in their weakness, they touched their raiment with it. 15. Samach. Depart ye from the unclean ones. Call ye them. Depart, depart, touch them not. For they are on fire, yea, they stagger. Say ye among the nations, they shall no more sojourn there. 16. Ain. The presence of Elohim's was their portion, but he will not again look upon them. They regarded not the person of the priests, they pitied not the prophets. 17. Phi. While we yet lived our eyes failed, while we looked in vain for our help. Said. We looked to a nation that could not save. 18. We have hunted for our little ones, that they should not walk in our streets. Kaf. Our time has drawn nigh, our days are fulfilled, our time is come. 19. Our pursuers were swifter than the eagles of the sky, they flew on the mountains, in the wilderness they laid wait for us. 20. Wretches. The breath of our nostrils, our anointed Elohim, was taken in their destructive snares, of whom we said, in his shadow we shall live among the Gentiles. 21. Chesan. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Idumea, that dwellest in the land. Yet the cup of Elohim shall pass through to thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and pour forth. 22. Thou. O daughter of Sion, thine iniquity has come to an end, he shall no more carry thee captive. He has visited thine iniquities, O daughter of Edom, he has discovered thy sins. Lamentations 5. 1. Remember, O Elohim, what has happened to us. Behold, and look on our reproach. 2. Our inheritance has been turned away to aliens, our houses to strangers. 3. We are become orphans, we have no father, our mothers are as widows. 4. We have drunk our water for money, our wood is sold to us for a burden on our neck. 5. We have been persecuted, we have labored, we have had no rest. 6. Egypt gave the hand to us, Assur to their own satisfaction. 7. Our fathers sinned and are not. We have borne their iniquities. 8. Servants have ruled over us. There is none to ransom us out of their hand. 9. We shall bring in our bread with danger of our lives, because of the sword of the wilderness. 10. Our skin is blackened like an oven, they are convulsed, because of the storms of famine. 11. They humbled the women in Sion, the virgins in the cities of Judah. 12. Princes were hanged up by their hands. The elders were not honored. 13. The chosen men lifted up the voice in weeping, and the youths fainted under the wood. 14. And the elders ceased from the gate, the chosen men ceased from their music. 15. The joy of our heart has ceased, our dance is turned into mourning. 16. The crown has fallen from our head. Yea, woe to us, for we have sinned. 17. For this has grief come, our heart is sorrowful. For this our eyes are darkened. 18. Over the mountain of Sion, because it is made desolate, foxes have walked therein. 19. But thou, O Elohim, shalt dwell forever, thy throne shall endure to generation and generation. 20. Wherefore wilt thou utterly forget us, and abandon us a long time? 21. Turn us, O Elohim, to thee, and we shall be turned, and renew our days as before. 22. For thou hast indeed rejected us, thou hast been very wroth against us. Proverbs 5. 1. My son, attend to my wisdom, and apply thine ear to my words. 2. That thou mayest keep good understanding, and the discretion of my lips gives thee a charge. Give no heed to a worthless woman. 3. For honey drops from the lips of a harlot, who for a season pleases thy palate. 4. But afterwards thou wilt find her more bitter than gall, and sharper than a two-edged sword. 5. For the feet of folly lead those who deal with her down to the grave with death, and her steps are not established. 6. For she goes not upon the paths of life, but her ways are slippery, and not easily known. 7. Now then my son, hear me, and make not my words of none effect. 8. Remove thy way far from her, draw not near to the doors of her house. 9. Lest thou give away thy life to others, and thy substance to the merciless. 10. Lest strangers be filled with thy strength, and thy labors come into the houses of strangers. 11. And thou repent at last, when the flesh of thy body is consumed. 12. And thou shalt say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart avoided reproofs. 13. I heard not the voice of him that instructed me, and taught me, neither did I apply mine ear. 14. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. 15. Drink waters out of thine own vessels, and out of thine own springing wells. 16. Let not waters out of thy fountain be spilt by thee, but let thy waters go into thy streets. 17. Let them be only thine own, and let no stranger partake with thee. 18. Let thy fountain of water be truly thine own, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. 19. Let thy loving heart and thy graceful colt company with thee, and let her be considered thine own, and be with thee at all times, for ravished with her love, thou shalt be greatly increased. 20. Be not intimate with a strange woman, neither fold thyself in the arms of a woman not thine own. 21. For the ways of a man are before the eyes of Jehovah, and he looks on all his paths. 22. Iniquities ensnare a man, and everyone is bound in the chains of his own sins. 23. Such a man dies with the uninstructed, and he is cast forth from the abundance of his own substance, and has perished through folly.